what we did, if you see the name itself, we gave a Sanskrit name to our solution. It is drone astram, like sastram astram, it's a Sanskrit word. So we combine drone with that tail end with the astram part, and we call it dronam. Now this drone is used as a weapon. So you need a weapon to counter that, drone. Ecosystem for the startups has been developing very nicely. And this is really good news for India, because we are looking for solving indigenous solutions.
Today, we have been joined by the director of Gurudwara Systems, who I'm not going to say what they are currently doing. I'd rather say that we know that drones are revolutionizing each and every sector today, from delivering medical facilities to defense to land mapping to anything that we used to know that it is not going to possible. But nowadays, that thing involves drones. So here, what I believe is the counter drone technology, the counter drone system comes, because again, we know that this can be used by our adversaries, by someone who wants to disrupt our process. And what I believe in this domain, Gurudwara Systems are working. Recently, they have been awarded the tender by IAF for manufacturing radio frequency jammer guns. Sir, if you could walk us through what are radio frequency guns and how they are used, the technicality, and what Gurudwara Systems are currently producing.
So basically, there are drones are everywhere, and they are very like necessity in life right now. Okay, and there are multiple usage of it. But if it falls under the adversary's hand, and if it is used not in a intended purpose, then there are a lot of issues which can arise. Issues starting from privacy related issue all the way to the terrorists using it for unwanted activities. So here the in principle, since drone is improving a lot, we are specifically working on counter drone systems. And these counter drone systems are, not supposed to be only used for, to take out the adversary, but also to imposition of the rules. Like there are restrictions placed that certain places drones are not allowed to be fly. But how do you ensure that these things have been done? Because there is no control, or the ground personnel, even the police, they need certain tool to make sure that these rules are imposed. So we are constantly working towards, giving solution in this era. And as part of this, working in this era, we have multiple solutions, out of which the specifically certain things what we work is basically jamming drone-related frequencies, specifically not allowing drone to fly in certain areas, because drone needs navigation. For example, GNSS signals. If you don't allow GNSS in a particular area, then drone cannot fly autonomously. In other words, it can't navigate itself. Now, in this scenario, if you have a manual control, like somebody is trying to manually fly, then we will take out that frequency also. So virtually, we don't allow him either to navigate or even to control. So that way, this is like one level of crude level of implementation of enforcement of directives, in which we are not allowing drone to fly in certain areas. So that is something which we are working on constantly, and we are looking for extended purpose in this field. One is RF jamming is common technique. Then other one is we have RF detection, that is using the radio frequency you can detect the drone. And then of course there are hard kill options like laser and microwave through which you can actually hard kill the drone.
So I wanted to know if what the production part involves, because again we have been talking about made in India, make in India. So if you could walk us through what involves the technology, again you have mentioned, but again how it is put in place, the hardware and other things.
So see, we are a DIPP registered startup, and our journey started with a situation wherein there was this drones which were used in a certain area, and I happened to meet one of the army personnel, and he just mentioned that drones are flying everywhere, even in marriages they are used, even in we are talking about medical usage and all. And in their area, drones were not allowed to fly. So how do you make sure that the drones are not able to go into this direction? So they suggested me to keep this, like work on a technology which can actually take out this spurious drones. So what we did is that from that problem statement, we started developing solutions. And as part of the journey, there was this Innovation for Defense Excellence, this IDEX program, which was launched by Ministry of Defense. So we participated in that. And that was the exact problem what they were also seeking the solution for. And from there, when we actually participated, we realized that the thought process for this anti-drone, which we were thinking more like a controlling mechanism, can also be used as a weapon. Because if you see right now in wars, like especially Ukraine-Russia war, drones are used for taking out the tanks, even the personnel. Now this drone is used as a weapon, so you need a weapon to counter that drone. So we found that it was really not even in a civil application, but in a defense point of view, it has a multifold application. So that's where we started building this solution. And we participated in another challenge, which were BSF challenge for Bhumi. And in that also we were the winner, actually, because it was a pan-India wide challenge, and we won that challenge as well. So it was really good to see that the problem statement of Army, Air Force, and Navy also combines with the paramilitaries, because MHA, or specifically police and BSF, and they are also looking for the similar solution. So that's where it gives us a further boost to work on these solutions. And we invested heavily on a technology part. So what we did is we started from, I would say, from scratch. In other words, because our requirements are totally different. India has a terrain starting from, a run of Kutch all the way to the Himalayas. And the temperatures varies from -35 all the way down to, let's say, 50 degrees or 55 degrees. So when we extended this work, we realized that we need a custom solution. None of the global scenario solution will fit the Indian requirement. So we had this made in India solution, in which we developed everything from scratch. So we are proud to announce that we are the only company who's having a in-service drone, counter drone system with BSF, Army, Air Force, and that too, it is 100% indigenous. In fact, the funny thing happened that one of the tender in which we participated, it was by Indian, in the sense that you are allowed to bring from abroad and field the equipment. But we participated in the tender with the IDDM, which is indigenously designed, developed, and manufactured solution. We won the tender, and we even delivered the solution, actually.
I want to know about Dronam, which is again anti-drone technology. You have already, the first batch you have already provided to IAF, Indian Air Force. So I was reading that from within 8 months from manufacturing part, getting the approvals and the delivery happened in 8 months only. So how did that happen? If you could walk us through that.
Yes. So that's the program which I was referring. So, when we, if you see our DNA of our company, we are basically Make in India partner for multiple technologies, and our aim is to do indigenous development. So what we did, if you see the name itself, we gave a Sanskrit name to our solution. It is Drone Astram, like Sastram Astram, it's a Sanskrit word. So we combine drone with that tail end with the Astram part, and we call it Dronam, and I think it's quite a unique name. We didn't think that it would be acceptable, but now people are liking it. So when we initially came up with this solution, what we said is that that Air Force wanted a handheld system, which was more like a rifle kind of solution, because you can't carry too much of weight, and specifically soldiers are already loaded with weapons, their radios, their equipments, additional ammunitions. You don't want to give a solution which needs a lot of carrying, because he will get fatigue over the time. And many places in India, they are not approachable by road, because people go on patrolling on foot. So we have a solution which we made, this Dronam, as a rifled solution, which can be handled and can be effectively neutralizing the drones in a certain frequency ranges. This, when we filled it, it was very much acceptable by a user, actually, because in fact user gave a lot of input in terms of improvement of that product. And that's where we have this Dronam rifled version. And that same version, when we filled it to Army, they liked it as well. And we have also given it to BSF, because the problem remains the same. The BSF also goes on foot patrolling at many places. So Dronam rifled version is what we made, and this is, I believe, is one of its kind rifled configuration system, very lightweight compared to the solutions available. It is battery powered and gives you a very sufficient range to engage the drones in an area. Now this one, when we deployed, in fact, we were able to catch drones as well, in fact. And what we did is that from there, since it was a short range, we extended the range and we made Dronam B, which is a backpack based version. That was the one which basically was a long range. And extended to that, we also have a perimeter security version, mounted version, which can be mounted on a mobile vehicle or equipment, even on a poles, like on a perimeter security. That's Dronam M. So you can see we have a family. Dronam is not a system now; it is a family, and because one solution doesn't fit all requirements, so we have this family of solution which can be mixed and matched, like based on requirements. So if you need certain profile, we give you a indigenously developed solution, not just a system alone, but the complete solution.
Now that you have mentioned about IDEX, I was coming on that only, because again, what I can see is, since like the launch of IDEX, various startups have partnered with the defense forces. They are making different applications. You are one of them. How do you see the role of IDEX, since it's been like near about four years now? So they are continuously hand-holding different startups, making different things, which time to time, not only now, they are also preparing for the future. So how do you see this role of government and the startups, and again, the part of IDEX?
So, if you go back in a couple of years back, we were constantly, like any startup, for example, when we want to work in a defense area, the biggest challenge lies is the access to customer. Okay, if you don't have access to customer and you develop something, customer may not need that actually. So what will you do after developing? You go to customer and customer says, no, I want certain, this kind of configuration, or you gave me a backpack, I wanted a handheld, for example. So your entire R&D or entire development effort goes for, like back to square one. So this was the challenge which was there from beginning, and even that challenge was very much there for all the startups. So IDEX gave us a platform for in this era to basically talk directly to the customer, because IDEX has a core team in which you have directly the people from forces who have given the problem statement, and they are the user basically. So anything you develop along with the user, chances of success are great. So that's where IDEX is helping the startup. They are also giving monetary funds to some extent. Of course, there are riders, but that also helps. And in addition, since IDEX is a challenge which was launched pan-India wise, you get a very good solutions to be implementable for application to user. So for example, if I want to build something in defense, earlier case, I was not knowing where to approach to. Now I know that there is a window in which I can approach to IDEX, give a suo motu proposal, give a make to proposal, and this can be going through that route. So this gives another route, and which is a very good route. And this was not there earlier. So I worked in this defense area for more than now 12 to 15 years. And we know the troubles what we were used to take, to reach and, get the RFPs, get the tenders, understand the process itself, which was quite challenging. So this was very much helpful. And there are certain other routes as well now, because IDEX is one of the route. There is TDF, which is opened by DRDO, very good route that is also. So if you see overall, ecosystem for the startups has been developing very nicely. And this is really good news for India, because we are looking for solving indigenous solution, basically indigenous problem with indigenous solution. So in ground level, indigenous solutions going all the way to the top level user is what is bridging, right now. If you see, the government is doing a lot of good initiatives in this direction.